Welcome back, preschoolers! This is Crossroads Kids Online, and we're heading back to space today. And that's because we're talking about how to launch our faith in Jesus to new heights. But do you want to know something you can't do in space? Talk. Well, if you have the right special equipment like radios and helmets and oxygen tanks and all that stuff, you probably could. But because there's no air in outer space, there's no way to speak or hear without special gear. In space, everything is silent. So thinking about that, I have a couple questions for you today. Would you rather be really quiet or really loud? Or what's one subject you love to talk about? I know I love to talk about Jesus and the Jayhawks. Well, that's two, sorry. Who's someone you really love to talk to? And imagine if you couldn't talk to that person for a day or a week or maybe even longer. When you finally saw them again, I'm guessing you'd have a lot to say and a lot of stories to tell. Well, today, we're going to hear a story about two men who had a lot to say and a lot of stories to tell. You see, their lives had been changed by a man named Jesus, and they couldn't stop talking about him. But some people, kind of mean people, wanted those men to stay quiet. You know, this story can teach us something really important about how we can launch our faith in God to new heights. But I need your help to find out what that big idea is. So count it down for me from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Our big idea today is we can share God's story. Now, I have some fun songs that are going to help us to remember that we are part of God's story and we can tell the story. So here we go.
choice to make. Everyone has a prayer to pray. We can all do the right thing. Let's encourage and help one another right now. Tell the world and shout it out. Make the name of Jesus loud. Let's go, share love and tell His story. We're gonna tell the world and shout it out. Make the name of Jesus loud. Let's go, share love and tell His story. Everyone has a part to play. Everyone has a choice to make. Everyone has a prayer to pray. We can all do the right thing. Let's encourage and help one another right now. Tell the world and shout it out. Make the name of Jesus loud. Let's go, share love and tell His story. We're gonna tell the world and shout it out. Make the name of Jesus loud. Let's go, share love and tell His story. We're gonna tell the world, we're gonna share His love, we're gonna tell God's story. We're gonna tell the world, we're gonna share His love, we're gonna tell God's story. We're gonna tell the world, we're gonna share His love, we're gonna tell God's story. We're gonna tell the world, we're gonna share His love, we're gonna tell God's story. Tell the world and shout it out. Make the name of Jesus loud. Let's go, share love and tell His story. We're gonna tell the world and shout it out. Make the name of Jesus loud. Let's go, share love and tell His story. We're gonna tell the world, we're gonna share His love, we're gonna tell God's story. We're gonna tell the world, we're gonna share His love, we're gonna tell God's story.
Hey there! Are you ready to blast off into another story? I love stories. I especially love stories about spaceships, faraway planets, and outer space adventures. Those are the stories I like to hear over and over again, and I like to tell other people about them too. Well, this story is so amazing that I can't wait to tell you about it. If you're ready for the story, count down with me. Let's hear it. 3, 2, 1, blast off! I am so excited to tell you this story today. Have you ever had a story you couldn't wait to tell? Maybe you saw a really cool animal and couldn't wait to tell your grandma about it. Or maybe you learned a new trick at the playground and wanted to show your dad or mom right away. Well, this story is so amazing that I can't wait to tell you about it. In the Bible, we can read about two guys, Peter and John, who were really excited about sharing a story too. It was the story of Jesus. They couldn't wait to tell others about how Jesus came to save the whole world and how He loves each and every one of us so much. They knew all about Jesus because they were Jesus' friends, and they couldn't wait to tell everyone about Him. But the problem was, some people didn't want Peter and John to talk about Jesus. They were the leaders of the city, and they were afraid that people would start listening to Jesus instead of listening to them. So they arrested Peter and John and put them in prison, saying, "Stop telling people about Jesus." You might think Peter and John would be scared or sad to be in prison, but even though they were in a scary place, they kept telling people about Jesus and how Jesus came to save us. When the leaders of the city asked Peter and John why they would keep talking about Jesus after they'd been told not to, they said, "We've seen what Jesus has done, and we can't stop talking about it." Then they let them go. Peter and John wanted to tell everyone about Jesus. That's how excited they were. Just like Peter and John, we can share God's story too.
So you see, boys and girls, Peter and John were two people who traveled around telling others about Jesus. They saw Jesus do some amazing things. Do any of you know what some of those things that Jesus did are? Yeah, he made people walk again. He healed diseases. He came back from the dead. Pretty amazing, right? They also knew that Jesus loved everyone so much, and they just had to share that story with as many people as they could. But some people didn't like it. And they tried to get Peter and John in trouble. They tried to tell Peter and John to stop talking about Jesus. How do you think Peter and John felt? Do you think they wanted to stop? No, Peter and John said they couldn't stop telling people about Jesus because Jesus had changed their life. And just like Peter and John, we should never stop talking about Jesus and all the things we know about him. Telling others about Jesus is how we can share God's big story. To help you share God's story, I have some ideas for you and your family. So if parents, if you're not listening, go get your parents right now, okay? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parents, I hope you're listening because you can help share the big idea today about how we can share God's story. You can even, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a video, your own video of you, the kids, answering some questions that I've got for you about how great God is, because it's going to allow them to practice telling others about Jesus. And so here are my suggestions, boys and girls, moms and dads. Make you a video, send it to me, of you talking about some of these things that have all to do with God. So maybe share your favorite part of church, whether it's at home or whether it's here. Share your favorite thing that God has created. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe on this video you could share something you're thankful for. Or tell me about your family because God put you in that family. Share something you like to do. Share something you like to pray for. Yeah, that's a great way. Maybe even share how God has answered some of your prayers. Or lastly, tell me or tell the video about your favorite Bible story. And if you make that video, have your parents send it to me. I would love to see it. And then, you know what? You can make your parents put it on their Facebook or their Instagram pages. Because Jesus does want us to tell the world that we love him and put it on social media. Parents, that's a great way to do that. And what's cuter than a kid talking about Jesus on Facebook? I mean, come on, let's fill Facebook with that. And be sure to tag Crossroads Kids in your video so we can see it and we can attach it to our page and we can share it to the world too. So make those videos. Send them out to the world as you blast your faith into new heights. And I will see you right here in space on Crossroads Kids online next week.